Hello students, welcome back to the e-session of Rural Marketing by Assistant Professor Hardik Solanki associated with LJ Integrated MBA. Before we start, let me ask you what comes in your mind when you are listening the word rural. It may be a small village or town, right? Will you believe if I say it has a great potential market? 70% of the population lives in villages. Let's start today's session. Mahatma Gandhi truly said that the soul of India lives in its villages. In 1960s, the rural market of India started showing its potential. In 1970s and 1980s, there was a steady development. Recently, due to COVID-19, people started reverse migration from city to villages, so the 21st century is all about rural market. Students, as you imagine rural areas, you may get the image of open field with low population village. The term rural marketing used to be an umbrella term for the people who dealt with the rural people one way or other way. So let's discuss the size of rural market in India. India is a land of diversity and about 70% of population lives in villages. There are approximately 6 lakh villages, bigger or small villages in India. 25% of villages account for 65% of total rural population. So, it can be calculated that 65% of 700 million population by targeting only 1,55,000 villages, which becomes a huge potential of this market. To expand the market by making inroads into countryside, more number of MNCs are getting into India's rural market. Among those are big shot companies like Hindustan Unilever, Coca-Cola, LG Electronics, Britannia, Philips, Colgate-Palmolive. Rural marketing involves a bunch of process that includes developing, pricing, promoting, distributing rural specific product and services which satisfies the consumer demand and also achieves organizational objectives as expected from the target rural market. It is basically a three-way marketing stage where the transaction can be urban to rural, rural to rural or rural to urban. So let's see what they are. Urban to rural, it is a process of selling the product and services by rural markets in urban markets and rural markets. These products mostly include pesticides, FMCG products, consumer durables, etc. Rural to urban, that is, it is a process where a rural producer sells product and services in urban market. Rural to rural, it is a process which includes selling or exchange of agriculture products, tools, cattle, carts, other to another village in its proximity. Students, now we are going to discuss about the infrastructure facilities. The facilities like rural electrification, road connectivity, post offices, rural health services, radio and television, telecom services have also received considerable attention in rural areas. So let's discuss the first point, that is rural electrification, which has gone on in a big way. The main aim is to provide electricity for agriculture operations and for rural and cottage industries in addition to lighting. The central government created an organization called Rural Electrification Corporation with the sole objective of financing the rural electrification projects. The schemes like 24/7 hours, Power for All, Saubhagya, that is Pradhan Mantri Sahaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana, Din Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana, launched for the 100% of electrification of villages. Second point, that is road connectivity. Rural roads are integral to linking rural communities and habitations to health services, education, employment and markets, leading to better livelihood and improving economic conditions. Since 1943, three successive 20-year road development plans were formulated and executed. With this effort towards poverty alleviation through agricultural growth and social economic improvement in rural areas, the Government of India launched the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana on 25th December 2000. 91% of India is connected through the roads and 100% road connectivity is aimed by Rural Road Development Plan Vision 2025. For providing postal services, the whole country has been divided in 23 postal circles. Each circle is further divided into regions. Post offices in the country are categorized is head, subhead, and branch offices. India has the largest postal network in the world with 1,55,015 post offices, of which 1,39,067 are in rural areas. At the time of independence, there was 23,344 post offices, which were primarily in urban areas. Thus, the network has registered a seven-fold growth since independence, with the focus of its expansion primarily in rural areas. Rural health services include sub-centers, primarily health centers, and community health centers. The health centers are available in rural areas for the development of rural areas and for the betterment of rural areas. Community Health Center is established and initiated by the state governments under the Minimum Needs Program and Basic Minimum Services Program. Radio. From 6 radio stations at the time of independence, All India Radio today has 420 radio stations. All stations of All India Radio broadcast from farm programs and home programs directed at the rural audience. At the time when Netflix and Amazon Prime videos are battling it out for the mindshare in India's urban areas and urban homes, good old television viewership continues to grow, especially in the countryside. Television viewership in rural areas rose 10% between 2016 and 2018. DD had the power to reach over 87% of population before the launch of private channels. Today, 70% of DTH subscribers resides in rural areas. Tata Sky is the dominant DTH brand with 13.2 million DTH subscribers from rural areas alone. According to Broadcast Audience Research Council data, during the rerun of Ramayana and Mahabharata during lockdown, DD National has achieved record-break viewership figure of 1.9 billion. Telecom services. The Indian telecommunication sector has grown rapidly in the last few years. India now has the second largest network in the world, next only to China. Airtel is the leading service provider in terms of number of subscribers with 348.52 million subscribers, followed by Vodafone with 222.97 millions in June 2018. Reliance Jio added 28.69 million subscribers, followed by Idea Cellular with 9.39 million, mainly benefiting from the closure of Aircel network. Idea Cellular's 54.05% phone customers are in rural India, followed by Vodafone with 53.59%. In next session, we will discuss nature and characteristics of rural sector in India, importance of rural sector, and the evolution of rural market. Thank you.